The 2016 Auto Club 400 was a NASCAR Sprint Cup Series race held on March 20, 2016, at Auto Club Speedway in Fontana, California, contested over 200 laps. It was fifth race of the 2016 NASCAR Sprint Cup Series season. Jimmie Johnson won the race. Kevin Harvick finished second. Denny Hamlin, Joey Logano and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. rounded out the top five. Austin Dillon won the pole, but led 0 laps on his way to finishing 24th. Harvick led a race high of 142 laps on his way to a runner-up finish. There were 26 lead changes among 8 different drivers, as well as 6 caution flag periods for 33 laps. This was the 77th career victory for Johnson, second of the season, 6th at Auto Club Speedway and 10th at the track for Hendrick Motorsports. The win moved Johnson up to second in the points standings. Chevrolet increased their lead to 9 points over Toyota in the manufacturer standings. The Auto Club 400 was carried by Fox Sports on the broadcast Fox network for the American television audience. The radio broadcast for the race was carried by the Motor Racing Network and SiriusXM NASCAR Radio. Report. Background. Auto Club Speedway, formerly California Speedway, is a 2 miles, low-banked, D-shaped oval superspeedway in Fontana, California, which has hosted NASCAR racing annually since 1997. It is also used for open-wheel racing events. The racetrack is located near the former locations of Ontario Motor Speedway and Riverside International Raceway. The track is owned and operated by International Speedway Corporation and is the only track owned by ISC to have naming rights sold. The speedway is served by the nearby Interstate 10 and Interstate 15 freeways as well as a Metrolink station located behind the backstretch. Entry list. The entry list for the Auto Club 400 was released on Monday, March 14 at 3:25 p.m. Eastern Time. 39 cars were entered for the race. 2 driver changes from the previous race include Brian Vickers returning to the seat of the No. 14 Stewart-Haas Racing Chevrolet and Jeffrey Earnhardt returning to the No. 32 Go FAS Racing Ford. Practice. First practice. Austin Dillon was the fastest in the first practice session with a time of 38.194 and a speed of 188.511 miles per hour. Qualifying. Austin Dillon won the pole for the race with a time of 38.200 and a speed of 188.482 miles per hour. Qualifying results. Practice post-qualifying. Second practice. Carl Edwards was the fastest in the second practice session with a time of 38.317 and a speed of 187.906 miles per hour. Final practice. Matt Kenseth was the fastest in the final practice session with a time of 38.831 and a speed of 185.419 miles per hour. Race. First half. Start. Under clear California skies, Austin Dillon led the field to the green flag at 3:49 p.m. He was passed going into turn 1 for the lead by Kevin Harvick. After 5 laps, Dillon fell back to third. Carl Edwards made a charge at Harvick, but he failed to make the pass. By lap 17, Harvick's gap grew to 2 seconds over Edwards. Kyle Busch was running 5th when he made an unscheduled stop for a flat right rear tire on lap 20. He rejoined the race in 37th, 1 lap down. The first caution of the race flew on lap 27 for a single-car wreck in turn 2. Riding the high line, Chris Buescher suffered a right rear tire blowout and made contact with the wall. Edwards exited pit road with the race lead. Greg Biffle, Kurt Busch and Casey Kahn were tagged for their crews being over the wall too soon and restarted the race from the tail end of the field. The race restarted on lap 32. Harvick got a run on Edwards going down the backstretch to retake the lead on lap 35. Coming to the lead, Edwards took back the lead on lap 36. Going into turn 1, Harvick drove underneath Edwards to retake the lead on lap 38. The second caution of the race flew on lap 47 for a single-car wreck on the backstretch. Exiting turn 2, Kyle Larson cut down his left rear tire, hit the outside wall, turned down the track and slammed the inside wall head-on. Brad Keselowski was tagged for an uncontrolled tire and restarted the race from the tail end of the field. Second quarter. The race restarted on lap 54. Harvick made an unscheduled stop from the lead on lap 71 for a vibration. Martin Truex Jr. assumed the lead while Harvick rejoined the race in 33rd. A.J. Allmendinger also pitted from 10th for a vibration. Jimmy Johnson took the lead from Truex on lap 78. He hit pit road on lap 84 and handed the lead to teammate Chase Elliott. He pitted the next lap and handed the lead to Matt Kenseth. He pitted the next lap and the lead cycled to Harvick. Denny Hamlin and Paul Menard were tagged for speeding and were forced to serve pass-through penalties. Matt DiBenedetto was tagged for removing equipment from his pit box and was forced to serve a pass-through penalty. Second half. Halfway. Harvick pitted from the lead on lap 106 and handed the lead to Johnson. The third caution of the race flew on lap 108 for a single-car wreck in turn 2. Round the turn, Trevor Bayne got too close to the wall and rode it. Harvick opted not to pit under the caution and assumed the lead from Johnson. Clint Bowyer was tagged for his crew being over the wall too soon and restarted the race from the tail end of the field. The race restarted on lap 115. Harvick on older tires was no match for Johnson on new tires as the latter took the lead with 85 laps to go. The fourth caution of the race flew with 79 laps to go for a single-car wreck in turn 1. Going into the turn, Danica Patrick got hooked into the wall by Khan and slammed the wall head-on. Khan, and his crew chief, Keith Rodden, were called to the NASCAR hauler after the race. Johnson and Truex swapped the lead on pit road. The latter exited pit road with the lead. Biffle and Edwards were tagged for speeding and restarted the race from the tail end of the field. The race restarted with 70 laps to go. Harvick got a run on the outside line exiting turn 4 to retake the lead with 63 laps to go. Kenseth made an unscheduled stop with 52 laps to go for a flat tire. To add insult to injury, he was tagged for speeding and was forced to serve a pass-through penalty. Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Johnson pitted with 46 laps to go. Debris in turn 3 brought out the fifth caution of the race with 45 laps to go. Johnson opted to stay out when Harvick pitted and assumed the lead. Truex was tagged for speeding and restarted the race from the tail end of the field. Fourth quarter. The race restarted with 40 laps to go. Edwards outdrove Johnson to the line to retake the lead with 39 laps to go. Johnson drove under him in turn 1 to retake the lead with 38 laps to go. Joey Logano drove under Johnson in turn 2 to take the lead with 36 laps to go. Harvick outdrove Logano to the line to retake the lead with 34 laps to go. Driving down the backstretch, Harvick nudged Logano's rear to retain the lead with 33 laps to go. With 14 laps to go, Logano took the air off Truex's car going into turn 1 and sent him into the wall. The sixth caution of the race flew with 2 laps to go for a single-car wreck in turn 4. Kyle Busch made contact with the wall and had a tire coming apart. Hamlin exited pit road with the race lead. Kenseth was tagged for an uncontrolled tire and restarted the race from the tail end of the field. Overtime. The race restarted with 2 laps to go. Johnson drove by Hamlin and Harvick to score the victory. Post-race. Driver comments. Speaking on the final restart, Johnson said he got a great run off of turn 2 and I thought, man, they got a shot at this thing? Which I didn't expect to have. Harvick has been so fast. I cleared him and kind of got away. We saved our best for last for sure. We had our best at the last there and really strong on the short run, which wasn't necessarily our strong suit earlier in the day. Chad Knaus, crew chief, made some great adjustments there to get me tuned up for that dash at the end? Harvick said after the race that the final restart was the worst it has taken off on restarts. But we weren't very good on restarts for 4 or 5 laps unless we were all by ourselves. The No. 48 was able to hang with us and we just weren't able to drive it in like I needed to. Penalties. On the Thursday after the race, Patrick was fined $20,000 for walking up towards the racing surface to show her displeasure to Khan. Race results. Race summary. Media. Television. The race was 16th race Fox Sports covered at the Auto Club Speedway. Mike Joy, 3-time Auto Club winner Jeff Gordon and Darrell Waltrip had call in the booth for the race. Jamie Little, Chris Neville and Matt Yoakum handled the pit road duties for the television side. Radio. MRN had the radio call for the race, which was also simulcasted on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio. Joe Moore, Jeff Striegel and 2001 race winner Rusty Wallace called the race from the booth when the field was racing down the front stretch. Dan Hubbard called race from a billboard outside turn 2 when the field was racing through turns 1 and 2. Kurt Becker called the race from a billboard outside turn 3 when the field was racing through turns 3 and 4. Alex Hayden, Winston Kelly and Steve Post worked pit road for MRN. Standings after the race.